This is Woah. We talk about marketing, about brands, and ads. Heck, we even make them. But what we do like the most is fun. And that's when we say, whoa, that was good.
Hello everybody, this is Nikhil Sharda. I am the AVP here at the Marcom Avenue. And today, for the Marcom Dialogues, we have a very, very special guest with us, who is Mr. Sunil Batra. I'm sure a lot of you in the journalist space would know who he is, but just a small introduction about him. He has been in the communication space for decades, and he has seen both the corporate side as well as the news agency side of things. Being the vice president at Tata, of communications, he has been into being the chief bureau, chief economic bureau at the Press Trust of India. He has a double master's degree, one from Punjab University and the other from JNU. And today we're going to talk about the intricacies of journalism, how journalism has changed over the years, how has a new generation taking up or consuming the new media, and how for journalists like him, how has he been able to, or how have they been able to adapt to these changes? And it's going to be a very exciting conversation, and I hope you like it. So let's start.
Thank you once again for joining us, sir. And the first issue that I want to ask you, I think which is on top of everybody's mind right now, is that journalism theoretically has often been referred to as the fourth estate. In today's time, especially in India, how much of that is true?
Thank you so much, first of all, having me on this podcast. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity to interact with you and earlier with the team. And also, see, journalism, as you said, is considered as the fourth pillar of the democracy. I don't think that there's any doubt in that. Journalism plays a big role and very important role in a democracy. The kind of awareness, the kind of information, the way it leads from, it's immense, like it's unimaginable. And the way it educates people, the way it informs. Now, if anything happens, there are so many things which are, earlier never used to come out. Nowadays, the days are gone that, you just don't let the information come out. It is not possible and it won't happen. It's only the journalism, the way it has exploded, like in all kinds of journalism, be it print media, be it electronic media, be it online media, digital media, social media. You look at it, the information which comes out and the information coming out is fantastic and immense. So I have no doubt it will continue to play the role it is playing, and it will further increase its importance. There is no doubt in that.
Thank you so much for that answer. So when I was growing up, in my family, my father also used to subscribe to 4-5 different newspapers, and I used to see him reading at least 5 newspapers every morning. And he used to say that you will never get enough information through one newspaper, because each carries a perspective of the names. How much of that is true? And for readers, and they are very rare readers, because nowadays things are now been in video. Everybody wants to, consume capsule-sized news pieces. So first, how much of that is true that you have to read multiple perspectives to get an informed, opinion, to form an informed opinion? And if there are any neutral publications that you could probably read?
First, let me answer you this. Now lots of different modes of media, in the capsule size and all. This has, I think, made the life much more easier. While you are sitting in a car, while you are sitting in a metro, you can just go through and read the news items quickly, what is happening around the world and everything. So that has one part of it, which is very important. And the kind of news items and the capsules, are being created, these are so crisp and, to the point, and if you have 1 hour's time, you just go through and update yourself. Okay, in evening you are free from everything and you are sitting in a metro, you are sitting in your car, you are sitting in a bus, wherever it is. I think that plays is very important role, and which is very important. Second, you said your dad used to read 4 or 5 newspapers and all. I tell you, when I was in journalism about 12 years ago, for 18 years I was with PTI. So I used to daily used to have 10 newspapers. So to read different newspapers. Yes, there are some news items which are the news of the day. It will have it will be there in every newspaper, maybe in the front page or second page or whatever it is. But as you rightly said, there's a different perspective if you want to pick up. There are you have to read different newspapers. I'll just give you one example, that editorial page. And now editorial page, when you read of 3 newspapers or 4 newspapers, you will get different perspectives of different things.
Right.
So that is always there. You read more than you read, I think the much better perspective you get. There is no doubt in that. No doubt in that.
I think neutral news newspapers
it will be very difficult for me if I pinpoint, okay, this newspaper is neutral or that paper is not neutral, because according to me, no newspaper is completely neutral or non-neutral. Maybe some news items on some pages, they mention it also, paid news or not paid news and all. But otherwise, by and large, you can say where in some papers or in some news items, you can get a feeling that it is, favoring one particular ideology or that's favoring another ideology. But other than that, pointing a finger on any particular newspaper saying that this newspaper is not neutral, I think that will not be correct.
So growing up, I think in my college days, I used to have a very soft corner for Asian Age newspaper. It used to be very yellowish, crumpled, double printed newspaper, but the articles were pretty, the news stories were very enlightening and insightful, compared to the mainstream publications. Okay, having said that, so do you think the generation that we are living in right now, the paper with the new generation that we were consuming media, all sorts of all, do you think that they have a kind of they don't have time to get in depth to a particular news, and because of that, they have a particular inclination towards half knowledge, which is often dangerous. So do you think that's happening compared to the generation that we bring where we went to the depth and we read a lot about a particular story as to be able to form an opinion about it? Now they don't have to. And that kind of is dangerous.
See, I won't call it dangerous, but yes, you are right when you said that the new generation does not devote that kind of time or that kind of energy to, because instant news items, so much of social media, you read it on Instagram, or you read it on Twitter or something. So that perhaps I will say, that energy, what we used to read, you or me, or we used to read and, consume or spend a lot of time on reading in the morning, 1 hour completely on reading the newspapers, that has definitely its own advantage that can never be taken away. Of course not. Nothing can replace that. The kind of, satisfaction you get reading the newspaper or that. But yes, this new age journalism, new generation, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. I put it that way.
Okay, for a journalist, how important it is to get the headlines right?
I think that is the most important, because headline should be such that it conveys the entire news in one line. My super boss used to say, "Ki headline and the first para, when you write, it should be such that you start thinking that what must be written ahead after that."
Right.
So it conveys the entire news. The flavor of the news should be there in the headline. The headline should convey the message very clearly. That headline is extremely, extremely important. It can be, in fact, it can be misleading as well as it can be.
I was coming to that, but thank you for pointing that out. So often it's, especially in digital age, is, we follow the hook. So the headline indicates a different story than the actual story that people click on it. So that's a bang.
But it happens with me. When I go to the Google, it generates interest to read the news. But when you read the actual news, the entire news item, you don't find what is, what you thought of it, what it could be. The information, what I look for. Headline says the same thing. But if this, the news item says something, there is something different. It's very true.
Yeah. How has ChatGPT coming with AI tools for writing? How has that impacted writers, journalists in general? I mean, has it supported them, helped them, or has it actually been
I put it like this: its full impact is yet to be seen. But at the same time, the journalists who are traditional journalists, I don't think that they can it can completely replace that. The journalists who do traditional journalism, they will always be like that. But this AI and Chat GPT and all, I really don't know how far it can go or how far it will be. It can replace a traditional journalism or traditional writing style. It won't be that. It will be very difficult to say at this time.
What inspiration in terms of writing, journalism writing? What inspiration?
I'll say, it's very difficult to pinpoint 1 or 2%, but yes, I always used to listen to or read some of the articles. Like I'll name 2 or 3 persons. Shekhar Gupta's article. If you read, in Indian Express, full page articles when he used to write on weekends. What I look for, that it should be a layman language. Even according to me, a good journalist, a good news is that even a rickshawala or a panwala can understand the news item, that what exactly is written. This is what my editor-in-chief in PTI, Mr. Rawzan, he also used to say. That is the news item. It should be written so simple and no jargon, that it should be plain, simple language so that a layman can understand it. I think that is. And in reading, as I said, this one name. The second, if you must have seen this Pranay Roy from NDTV, the way he conducts, interviews as, talk shows, fantastic. I think this is really, no, number one, no bias, nothing, very neutral, and the kind of information he provides, absolutely full and plain and simple, the way he explains.
Fantastic. I used to follow Karan Apan and Jack Suraya was speaking sometime with India soon. Yeah, I think neutral is what takes the cake.
See, again, that is Karan Apan and all. He's a BBC background and all, so he has his own style. But one thing is good about him, that whenever he conducts any interview or programs, he again comes with a very solid research. They do good research before they conduct or do any talk show and all. And from that point of view, I would say in the current day, if you listen to the program like Rajdeep Sardesai and all, the way he does it, and look at one particular thing, a good thing about Rajdeep Sardesai's program, that he brings both sides of argument, and he brings them together on any particular issue, which is that when you listen to it, you don't only listen to the one point of view, you listen to both sides of any particular issue, whatever is happening, the current topic. So I think that is again these people are veterans in electronic journalism. So I think this is what the way it should be done.
I think that's important, because also you get two sides, then you'll be able to form a better opinion.
Yes,
Subject.
And better opinion also, and you should know both sides, that what they think about any particular issue. And these days, the very important issues like elections are happening, so many things are on any particular issue. Unless you listen to both sides, two sides of you won't get the complete perspective of the news.
Yeah. Next question is that do you think that as a generation or as people now, we are now become more sensitive while consuming media as to, we are getting offended often about a particular news piece, and we want to, there's a need to find a news item or a story that reflects my beliefs or our beliefs, and we would reject entirely something which is true but may not be aligned to what you believe in. Is that happening right now? But I see it happen.
To some extent, yes. But then you have to take the things into your stride. That this is what is happening. Maybe sometimes what you want, what is in your mind or what is in back of your mind going on, and if you read that, yes, you feel always good. Oh, I also thought that this should be done. That this should happen like this only.
Yeah.
But at times it doesn't happen. Also, you have to take it into stride.
Any last words that you have for aspiring journalists, people who are already from this field, anything that shows some experience can advise them to go?
I'll say only one thing: be true to yourself, and don't compromise on ethics. This is I think the mantra of best journalism. This is I would like to say.
Interesting. On that note, thank you so much for your time again, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much inviting me and having this talk. Thank you so much.